I've always been a fan of warm, spicy fragrances. It's sort of cozy, but also just mysterious and intriguing scent. And there are a lot of different spices, cloves, cinnamon, stuff like that. But in this video, I'm going to kind of explore some of my favorite spicy fragrances. First one of which is this nice bottle here of Youth Dew by Estee Lauder. You could pretty much tell from the color alone that this is, a warm kind of fragrance. And the main notes in this are a lot of cinnamon and cloves in particular. And the interesting thing is that when you first put it on, you actually get some citrus notes, and from there, it kind of blends into a blend of spices. The cinnamon and the cloves are the main ones, but you could definitely tell there's, maybe some allspice thrown in there, and then there's a bunch of floral notes, rose, lang lang, lily of the valley, that sort of thing. And then there are the base notes, which mainly consist of wood and a bit of amber and things like that. So this is a very balanced, strong but balanced fragrance. It's been around for a long time, around 70 years. And I mean, since it's been around for so long, it kind of shows, that it's popular and why it's popular. And there's also some Tolu balsam and incense notes. I would say that the incense is a bit muted compared to the overall spice notes that Youth Dew has. A lot of people say that it reminds them of Christmas because it really has those Christmassy spices like ginger and stuff thrown in. So that's a very classic, warm, spicy, very good perfume for that particular fragrance family. And in the same vein, there is another one of my favorites, Cocoa by Chanel, this small sample here. Very similar because it does have those kind of notes of cloves and cinnamon, not quite as strong as Youth Dew, but definitely I think there's some coriander thrown in there. And what I like about it is that the main difference from Youth Dew, because they're very, very similar, the main difference is that I think Cocoa is a little bit not quite as sharp, not quite as in your face. It's a little more mellow and a little bit sweeter, and I think the sweetness mainly comes from kind of the floral notes, orange blossom and rose and stuff like that. But the spice notes themselves are also a little bit different. There's more of a prominence on cloves and coriander, and there's also some amber and stuff like that. I really, really like Cocoa because it's just a really nice, it's very warm, but not too warm or too syrupy that you can't wear it during the summer or during hot weather. It's still good throughout the year, I would say. And it's just a really attractive, kind of magnetic fragrance. And I mean, being from Chanel, naturally it's going to be high quality, so no surprise there. The next one is much more modern. Most people probably know about it. Baccarat Rouge 540 by Maison Francis Kurkdjian. Very, very high quality French fragrance. So the thing about this is that it's very strong. It's not what you would expect from a warm, spicy fragrance. It's a bit more toned down, and the spices themselves are different. The main spice here is saffron. The interesting thing, they can't use real saffron for perfumes because apparently it is a skin irritant. Instead, they use saffron derivative. I think it's called saffrol or something similar to that, but it has the same smell as saffron. And if you don't know, saffron is one of the most expensive and rare spices in the world. It's these little red threads that grow off of the saffron plant. And they have to be plucked by hand. And saffron has a very interesting smell. It does have that kind of tingling, spicy sensation, but not as strong as, cinnamon or cloves. It's definitely more exotic. And Baccarat Rouge also blends the saffron with some floral notes and then some more interesting notes. I believe there's some gray amber thrown in. Gray amber is a marine substance produced by whales, very musky. And it's also blended with some sweeter notes with the florals, so overall, not quite as spicy, classically spicy as Youth Dew or Cocoa, but still definitely you get that warmth, you get that tingly spice. And it's instantly recognizable as a very rich, high-class French fragrance, so it's got that going for it. And it is very, very powerful and long-lasting. You don't need to put much on, and it should last you all day. So, the next one here, probably not as well known, this small bottle of Spark by Liz Claiborne. And again, from the color of the liquid, you could tell this is one of those warm, kind of cozy fragrances. The main spice note is cinnamon, and this one's unique because it's not, it's much more sweet, much sweeter than these previous ones here. Mainly because it also has hints of caramel mixed in with the cinnamon, and that really gives it an interesting kind of blend. And between the caramel and the cinnamon, there's also notes of musk and cedarwood. So it's mostly a sweet fragrance, very Christmassy actually, similar to Youth Dew but sweeter. And the good thing is, because I'm not a huge fan of sweet fragrances, the good thing is that the spice notes and the wood notes balance out the caramel, so it's still, balanced. It's a controlled fragrance, so it's not anything too crazy. So, but since the main spice note is cinnamon, it's not too complex. It's basically just a sweet cinnamon fragrance, but it is still pretty nice, and it lasts a long time, surprisingly. So there's that. And then the last one here is classic Shalimar. So Shalimar is probably one of the oldest warm, spicy fragrances, and it was, pretty much designed to be this all-encompassing spicy perfume because it was inspired off it came out in the 20s, and back then the spices of India were considered very, very exotic. So that's what Shalimar kind of aimed to encompass, is these mainly cloves, maybe a bit of allspice, and some, incense notes, smoky notes, stuff like that, mixed with wood and some florals. So the spice notes in Shalimar are kind of interwoven with all these different, Eastern notes, and it's a very, very complex fragrance, and probably more complex than the rest of these perfumes. And it's another one of my favorites because it really evolves as you wear it. First, it's kind of citrusy, and then you really get a wave of those warm spices, and then you get another wash of kind of smoke notes and wood notes. So there is this constant evolution of Shalimar, which I quite like. And overall, those are the top kind of spicy perfumes that I enjoy. I'm sure there's plenty more that I don't know about, but if you have any opinions about kind of spicy fragrances, you can leave those down in the comments below. If you like the video, leave a like, maybe subscribe, and I make videos throughout the week, so stick around for those.